and welcome to today's video where we are trying out a bunch of new drugstore makeup. I feel like we got into 2021 and all of these drugstore brands just went crazy releasing new things, and obviously when I saw them I was like, I need them all, I need to try them all and let you all know the tea on what you need and what you don't need. But before we get into that, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Estee. On my channel we discuss everything in the beauty world and then sometimes some other things like fashion and clothing, so if that interests you, be sure to subscribe. It means everything to a small creator like myself. If you're all interested in all of the products I'll be trying and how I got this look, then let's get right on into it. We're gonna start with the face today, but before I get into primer, I do wanna try out this new product from Milani. This is the Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint, and I have it in two shades. I picked up the peach shade and the pink rose shade. The peach shade says corrects dark circles for light to medium skin tones, and then the pink is corrects dark circles for fair to light skin tones. So I didn't know which one would work for me best, so I just got both. And I don't have like terrible dark circles, but my under eyes get very, very blue almost from all of the veins that come through, if that makes sense. So I feel like they're kind of blue, so I was like, maybe I should get the pink because pink will counteract that, but maybe peach is better for my skin tone. So let's try them both out. I'm gonna go in with the peach first. Let me just take a little bit of this and warm it up. Let me just dab this underneath my eye and we'll see which color works better for me. I'm just going to blend it out with the sponge. I think I put on just a tad bit too much. With my middle finger, I'm just going to warm up the pink shade and just dab this on as well. I really like the formula. It's really just nice and thin, and it feels nice and moisturizing as well. Okay, so here's both of them. Obviously the pink side looks much brighter, but I think that the peach side just works better for me at concealing everything. I do think that on the pink side, for me, I can still see the blueness coming through right over here and in here, whereas the peach side, I really can't see any of my blueness coming through. So I really like this. It feels really nice and moisturizing. It kind of dried down. It's not tacky or anything, and you can definitely use this with no makeup and just wear this. I really, really like this. Next up, we have our primer. I think I'm the most excited to try this. This is the NYX Marshmallow Primer, and the reason I'm most excited to try this is because one, it was $17, which is pricey for the drugstore, and two, it has like 100 claims. Let me read them for you. This primer smooths, softens, extends makeup wear for 16 hours, hydrates, soothes, evens tone, minimizes texture, blurs lines, and adds a soft focus finish and keeps makeup fresh. Wow, those are a lot of claims, but I will say that this has great reviews on Ulta and is sold out, so I hope it lives up to that. I did like 2.5 pumps. That might be too much. Doesn't seem to have a scent. Actually, kind of smells like sunscreen. All right. Feels nice on the face. I definitely can feel it like smoothing. It kind of feels like how the e.l.f. putty primer feels like once it kind of warms up to the skin. I just gave that primer a few minutes to like get into my skin. I think it's looking good. It definitely feels hydrating. I'm trying to think of the other claims. It doesn't really feel soothed. I definitely see the smoothing on like my forehead, but I don't feel that my pores really look that smoothed out, but I do think that like my lines on my forehead do. It's definitely giving me sort of like this luminosity as well. It's not irritating my skin at all, my perioral dermatitis at all. Looking good so far, but I feel like this is one of those products that I really need to like test over a few hours. Next up for foundation, this is a new foundation to me, but I know it's not like a new foundation in general, but I definitely wanted to try this. This is the Revlon Color Stay 24-Hour Foundation, and the one I actually got is for normal to dry skin. I was kind of hesitant whether I wanted to get this one or the matte one, but for the normal to dry, it did say a natural finish, and I really like natural finishes since I do have more combination skin. This is supposed to be full coverage, so I'm excited for that, and it's kind of nice and liquidy, which I really like. I do prefer foundations that have a more liquidy, watery consistency than a more cream consistency, just because I feel like they feel lighter on the skin. Also, the shade I'm using is 295 Dune, which I feel like literally matches perfectly. Here's one layer of that foundation, so I definitely would not call this full coverage. I would call this like a light to medium, although it looks really nice on the skin. It was really easy to blend down and just feels comfortable. So I am gonna go in with one more layer. It doesn't seem like this foundation oxidized at all, which is a huge plus. Here's how the second layer is looking. I really like how it's looking. I would say that even with the second layer on top, I wouldn't call this like a true full coverage. I would definitely say it's a medium coverage foundation. You can definitely build it up though. I do really like this natural finish. It dried down nicely and it doesn't feel tacky. Before moving on to concealer, I do want to bake a little bit some of the pimples that I have. You all know that I always use my trusted Hourglass Veil powder, but we are going to try a new powder today. This is the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. I have heard really good things by this. Again, this isn't like brand new. This came out, I want to say in like November, so a few months ago, but I've heard amazing things. So I'm going to use this to bake my acne, and I'm also going to use this to bake my concealer once we do the concealer. Oh, I like this. I haven't even opened this, but this has a little plastic cover instead of like a sticker. So I think that's nice. Also, this is the 001 color. I believe they have two colors. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the one I'm using, the 001, is supposed to be translucent. Next up for concealer, we are trying out the Revlon Colorstay Full Coverage Concealer. I actually didn't even realize how many Revlon products I had to try out. I have two shades. I have 22 Sable and 20 Bisque. I think Bisque might be a little bit too dark. It's a little bit too close to my foundation color, and I do like my under eye to be a little bit brighter. But I do think that Sable will be too light, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mix them. I'm just gonna start applying this on the side of my nose as always, and under my eye. I apply these very sloppy, and I probably apply too much, but they do feel very nice and creamy. Okay, this is definitely full coverage. I don't know if it's really full coverage or I just put on like way too much, but it's blending out really, really nicely. It's very nice and creamy. I also obviously have that Milani eye tint under there, so that's also probably helping it be more full coverage, but either way, I'm really liking this. Now we're going to apply our bake. I also want to mention that this Revlon powder is very finely milled. It's like really nice and silky. Just gonna start wiping off the bake that I did on my pimples. Wow, that looks really good. And it is extremely difficult for loose setting powders from the drugstore to really impress me, but I am very impressed by this one. For cream bronze / contour, also not a new product, but I've been obsessing over these Wet n Wild contour sticks. I showed these in my first impressions of all the new Wet n Wild makeup. And in that video, I tried the shade Call Me Maple, and I liked it, but it was a little bit too dark and it was a little bit too red. So I mentioned that I wanted to pick up the other shades that they have. So I have Where's Walnut and Oaks on You, and this is like literally my latest obsession. This is the original one I tried, the maple shade. Then here's Oaks on You, and I know it's a little hard to see, but here is Where's Walnut. And I like that this is not as dark as the maple one, and it's slightly cooler toned, because I did feel that the maple one was just a slightly too red. So yeah, I've just been loving these both, and I'm going to use both of these colors. I'm going to mix them, but I'm going to start with the oak one, and then I'm taking a little bit of Where's Walnut and just mixing that. I can't believe how affordable these are and just how amazing they are. They literally blend in like a dream, so easy. They're in a stick, so they're super compact. They're easy for travel. They're small. They don't take up a lot of room on your desk or your vanity, so on and so forth. So I'm obsessed with these. I'm going to wipe off the bake from my under eyes, and then we'll come back and contour my nose with that same Wet n Wild contour stick. I think the under eyes are looking beautiful. I am extremely impressed by this Revlon Candid powder. It is so finely milled. It literally feels like silk. Going back to my nose contour, I'm gonna take Oaks on You, and I'm taking this on this AOA Studio high definition brush, and I'm just going to apply it. As I apply, you'll see it looks kind of light, but what I've noticed is that I hardly need to blend it out, and it's just the perfect color. For my nose contour, I don't have anything new, but because this is a drugstore video, I want to use my favorite drugstore contour powder, and that is from the Makeup Obsession Give Me Sun Bronzer Palette. There's all different shades, but clearly I love this buff shade. I don't really know much about this brand. I picked this up at Target and I definitely would be curious to try more from them. Moving on to blush, we are trying the Milani Supercharged Cheek and Lip Multi-Stick, and I have it in the shade Spice Jolt. It looks really nice and dewy and just cute. It definitely looks lighter on my hand also than in the packaging. I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying this onto the cheek. I feel like you definitely have to rub it on quite a bit. Just gonna blend this out with my Colourpop F9. That's really pretty. It's very pretty and natural looking. It kind of reminds me of the Nude Sticks ones that have like a dewy finish if you've tried those. I'm gonna go ahead and add more on my hand and then apply more from there. This is really pretty. It blends out beautifully. It's dewy, but it's interesting because it dries down almost immediately, so it doesn't leave you with like that tacky layer. The one thing that I don't like about the Nude Sticks ones is that they stay tacky on your face all day, and I do not like that at all. This I really like. I'm just loving that it's this nice dewy finish, but it's not tacky on your face at all. Like my hair is not gonna get stuck to this. I'm really surprised by this. This is a cheek and lip. I do have another product I'm trying out for my lips, but let's just try this and see how it looks. Oh, that's really pretty. It just feels like a tinted lip balm. I really, really like that. Moving on to highlighter. So I don't have like a brand new highlight, but I tried out these bite-sized face palettes in my full face of Out video and I fell in love. In that video, I did try on this shade, which is Watermelon. So I went ahead and picked up White Peach from my local Ulta because I really love like orangey blushes. And I'm assuming this highlight is gonna be beautiful as well. Here are swatches of both of the colors. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with like my swatches today, but here are swatches of both of the colors that highlight looks to die for. Maybe I'll just use a little bit of the blush too, why not? Let me pick up some of this highlighter. Ooh, that is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Let's pick up a little bit of this blush. Oh yeah, that is so pretty. It actually pairs very well with that Milani Spice Jolt color. Moving on to setting spray. I saw this in my local Ulta. This is the Revolution Skincare London Niacinamide Essence Spray. Helps to mattify and refresh the skin. I don't know if this is marketed specifically as a setting spray. They're calling it an essence spray, but I saw that this is supposed to be mattifying. It has niacinamide, and I looked through the ingredients and it was alcohol free. So I was like, let me give this a try. Let's see. Okay, it seems to be pretty fine mist. I don't think it's fragranced. I'm just going to spray this away from the camera. Okay, not sure if that spray really did anything. I mean, my face feels nice and set down. Nothing is feeling like it's gonna move or transfer or anything like that. Don't really think it really mattified the makeup. Just left a nice natural finish on my makeup. I feel like it's one of those products that I'll have to try a few times and like throughout the day to see if it really helps mattify. Moving on, I just went ahead and did my brows off camera because I didn't have anything new for brows to use. I just used my good old Morphe brow pencils, but I have two eyebrow gels to try. So the first one is the new NYX the Brow Glue, which props for this packaging because I just think it's adorable. And the other one I have is the Wet n Wild Brow Obsessive Brow Shaping Gel. This one is in the color brown, so this is tinted. They are different, and my eyebrows, once this is done, will probably look a little bit different, but I want to try them both. For this brow, let's go in and use the Brow Glue. I love how small this applicator is. Okay, it definitely feels like a thick brow gel, if that makes sense. What I want to do is kind of try to like give that laminated look and sort of hold it up, especially in front. Okay, let's let this one dry down, and in the meantime we will try the Brow Obsessive. This one has a much different wand. It's still like a small wand, but it's definitely thicker and longer. Oh wow, this one actually has a good amount of color. I wonder how the color would look if I actually didn't have my brows already filled in though. Okay, I'm gonna give these both a second to dry down and then come back and see how the hold is. So I gave my eyebrows like 5 minutes. I feel like they still haven't dried down fully. I did put a lot on each eyebrow, so I definitely will say that. But for now, let's continue and get started with the eyes. I am so excited. We are using the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox. Let's go ahead. We're going right into it. This shade, Rumor Mill, it's like this matte gray shade, is just speaking to me. It's calling my name, so I'm gonna take it on a fluffy brush. I really, really wish that this palette had a mirror. It would just be way more convenient, especially for filming this video. All right, that shadow applied pretty well. You definitely need to kind of take your time to blend it out. It's not like super buttery, but it did apply very nicely. To soften this up a little bit, I'm going to be going in with the shade You Rock. I'm just going to apply that a little bit over, a little bit under, just to try to blend this out and soften it a little bit. That definitely did a really nice job of softening this out. I didn't even realize until I physically put this on how dramatic this would look. I'm gonna take my finger and go into this shade, Sediment 2B, and I'm just going to tap this on. Wow, that is beautiful. This look is quite different for me. Even when I use cool tones, they're usually like cool brown or like mocha shades, not like gray. And this Rumor Mill shade is definitely like a sort of charcoal gray with like a blue undertone. So definitely something a little bit different, but you know, I kind of wanted to do something different, push myself today. I'm going to dip into this shade Trip, and I just want to apply it up here just to soften this a little bit. That shade really helped blend everything out. I'm very impressed by the palette so far. I'm now going to try this shade Dreamful, which looks white, but it has like some sparkles in it. And I'm going to apply this right on my inner corner. Oh, wow, that is pigmented. Hello. Just gonna take a tiny bit more of that shade and put it right on my brow bone. On a thin pencil brush, I'm just going to take the bold type and just apply it on my under eye. I think this is all I'm going to do. Now, I do wish I did this before my foundation, not because there's any fallout or anything. There's really no fallout, which is crazy to me, but I probably would have cleaned this up a little bit more, but I think once we put on the mascara, it'll really finish the look. Before we move on to mascara, I do want to just check my brows. Okay, the brow glue, I'm really liking. It doesn't feel super duper hard and crazy like the Anastasia, but it definitely is holding up those brow hairs and giving it that laminated look. And then the Browsessive is definitely a little bit less of a hold, but it does feel like the hold is good. I definitely need to try the Browsessive like on its own when I'm not wearing any pencil underneath, just to see how the color looks. For mascara, since the Essence Lash Princess is literally my holy grail, I saw that they released 2 new mascaras. So we have the Essence 24-Hour Defined Volume Mascara, and then the Hello Good Stuff Volume Mascara with Caring Coconut Oil. So I'm gonna try these out on both of my eyes and see which one I like more, and hopefully I like them both. On this eye, I'm gonna use the Hello Good Stuff. The wand is just nice and skinny. All right, let's see. I just realized that I did not curl my lashes, which I usually do, but oh well. I do like this, but I feel like because it's so thin, having a hard time like grabbing every single lash. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my bottom. And then on this side, let's do the Defined Volume. This wand is quite different. It's literally like triple the size of the other wand. This one, I'm definitely having an easier time just grabbing every single lash. This one's definitely making the lashes thicker, but it's not lengthening them nearly as much. Here's a quick close-up of how both of them look. I feel like I like them both, but for different reasons. I think if I had to pick between the two, I definitely say the Defined Volume, because as you can see, it just made my lashes really, really nice and thick, and it definitely gave them a lot of volume. Whereas with this one, I was having a little bit more of a difficult time with it getting to really grab the lash, but I will say it made my lashes longer and really lengthened them, as well as giving it volume. So it just depends on what your preference is. For me, I really like my lashes to look nice and thick and black, and I definitely feel that this one did that for me. So I'm really liking this one. This one's definitely a hit. Last but not least is our lips. I'm so excited to try this out. This is the NYX Shine Loud Pro Pigment Lip Shine. I think that's the entire name. So I have 2 shades. I have the shade Magic Maker, which is this pink shade right here, and then this shade Global Citizen, which is more brown. And I feel like Global Citizen is a little bit too brown, but Magic Maker is a little bit too pink, so I think I'm gonna try to mix the two. According to the instructions online, we are supposed to add the base coat to bare lips, wait 90 seconds to dry, lock in pigment with glossy top coat. So let's do that. I am gonna go in with Global Citizen first. Doesn't look too brown now that it's on my lips, but I still want to mix them. So here's Global Citizen on its own. I guess it is kind of brown for my liking, so let's put a little bit of Magic Maker. I don't want to put too much. Wow, it's definitely drying down pretty quick. Here's the colors together. Wow. All right, let's wait 90 seconds for it to dry. All right, that was 90 seconds. It's definitely fully dried down. It definitely feels on the lips right now kind of dry like a typical liquid lipstick would. Let's go in with our shine. The shine definitely makes it feel much more comfortable on the lips, so I will say that. I love the way it's looking with the shine. It just looks so glossy. I think I'm gonna let this sit for like a minute and then we'll really see if it's transfer proof. All right, let's test this out. I'm gonna use this hand because it's nice and clean, nothing's on there. Okay, no color came off, but I don't know if you can really see the shine layer definitely came off. Like I feel like as I've been seeing this on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, people are literally kissing their hands and they're like, oh my God, no transfer. Definitely a lie. I mean, the gloss definitely transferred. Like you can clearly see that shine. I mean, I still have shine left on my lips, but not like as much. Let me do it again. Yeah. So I definitely say that the lip color definitely doesn't transfer, but that shine layer definitely transfers. That being said, I still definitely have shine on my lips, so I would say this is a good product. I'm just not loving either of these colors. I think Global Citizen is way too brown, and then Magic Maker is just a little bit too dark of a pink. I thought mixing it would make it a little bit more nude, but it kind of made it like a dark plum color. So I definitely need to find like just a better color for myself in this that I personally like. But I do like this. I think it's a really cool formula and a cool idea. All right, and here is the final look. I'm loving the way the makeup looks, but I think the color choices together is making this look a little gothish, in my opinion at least. I definitely wanted the lips to be more nude, and they kind of turned into like a dark plum, and then obviously I have like this dark greenness on the eyes. So I will say that overall I like how everything looks, and I like each product, but I think all together the look is a little funky. It's a little different for me. I do want to shout out a few products that were just major hits and I am obsessed with, starting with these two Milani products. I have the Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. I definitely think the peach color worked best for me. I absolutely love this. It's super duper thin, it's super brightening. You really don't need to use a lot of it. I feel like you can use this as a color corrector if you're doing like full glam or just regular makeup, or you can literally wear this with no makeup. I'm super duper impressed by this. Very nice and hydrating, thin, gets the job done. I also really love this Milani Supercharged Cheek and Lip Multi-Stick. I am just so shocked by this that it gives like this really nice dewy finish, but that it also dries down and it's not sticky at all and you don't feel it. I feel like that's kind of an issue with cream blushes that do have this more dewy finish, is that they're usually sticky. Your hair kind of gets stuck to them. I am super impressed by this. It also looked really, really cute on the lips. It just looked on the lips like a nice tinted lip balm, and I love this as well. One product that really shocked me was this Revlon Photo Ready Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. Wow, this is so finely milled. It literally feels like silk on the skin. It's great for your under eyes all over, especially if you have more dry skin for all over, if you have dry under eyes like me. This literally feels like and performs like a luxury high-end blue setting powder, and I'm just shocked by this. And of course, I absolutely love this palette. I mean, I'm not surprised that I love this. I am so looking forward to using this more and more and more. I really do want to see if this is really worth it, or if just getting that taupe is enough, sort of like for the everyday, or if you're just getting into cool tone shadows. But this I was super duper impressed by, and like I said, so not surprised. And then the last product that I wanted to shout out was this Essence 24-Hour Defined Volume Mascara. I used it on this eye and I absolutely love the way it looks. It just makes my lashes so black and so thick. And then I'll also even take that a step further and say that this also kind of gives me that lash extension look, just because it makes everything so thick, which I absolutely love. And that is it for today's video. Let me know down below in the comments if any of these products that I tried out interest you and that you would want to try out yourself. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!